Started. This is the Layoff Recovery site launch webinar for workforce and education partners for Illinois Worknet. We completely created a whole new layoff recovery site. And so this is a launch to show you everything that we have and all the updates. Before I get started with that, I want to go ahead and point out a couple of webinar tools if you're not used to using Adobe Connect. On the left side of the screen, you'll see a chat pod. So you can go ahead and type any questions you have throughout the webinar right in there. And if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and start chatting in there, please go ahead and do that. We'll be going through a PowerPoint, and if you need to see a larger version of that, at the top of your webinar, you'll see a little button that has 4 arrows pointing out. If you click on that, it will make your webinar full screen, and then if you click on it again, it'll bring you back to the regular screen because the chat is gone in that view, so you'll not be able to chat while you're in full screen. And then above that, we have our conference call number. So if you're listening via your computer speakers and during the webinar you have any problems, go ahead and mute your computer speakers and call into that number. And then, and the last thing is in the bottom left-hand corner, you will see a file download pod. Now what that is we have our PowerPoint that we'll be using, so you can download that and have it. And then we also have a list of workforce partners with access to specific tools within the Layoff site. So you can download that, and I'll make sure to give you more information on what that is, but we want to make sure you had access to that. So today I'll be reviewing the new resources and tools, and then I'll be demoing them on the actual site so you can see how they're being used. And then we'll do a Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions that you hadn't asked throughout the webinar, we'll get those answered. So the first thing I'm going to go over is the public-facing sites. So with the Layoff Recovery site, we have public areas, and then we have our workforce partner areas. In the public area, we have our company-specific layoff page with a brand new updated look and feel, which includes workshop and contact information for the laid-off workers, the new online dislocated worker survey, our brand new layoff recovery video guide, the service locator, and the events calendar, our layoff recovery step guide, trade program information, and rapid response and warn information for employers. So some of you might not be familiar with what this online dislocated worker survey is. This is brand new to our layoff recovery site. Previously, the way it worked was you used the paper version and handed them out at the workshops, but we're now offering this all online for the laid-off worker to go and take at any time, anywhere they have internet access. We've also updated this website to be mobile friendly. So you can go to this website on your computer, your iPhone, your Android phone, your Windows phone, your iPad, your tablet, anything you have internet access on. This site is going to work, and it's going to look the way it does on the website. So that was a really big update to this site, was making it mobile friendly so you can get to everything anywhere you are. So that is all the public stuff. And now with the workforce partner specific areas, the first thing that we're providing for you to use to work with laid off workers is marketing materials and resources. These marketing materials include flyers, business cards, postcards, trade program brochures, WIA and WARN brochures. And then for resources, we're providing you the trade program guidance and forms, Illinois Worknet resources, and state and federal resources. So as a workforce partner, you will work in an Illinois Worknet center, you might work in a library, or you might work in a community-based organization office. Anywhere you are, we're providing these materials so you can market to these laid-off workers and show them what we have on the layoff recovery site to help them recover from this layoff. And that's what these marketing materials are for. They're customizable for you in the local area to customize and print and hand out to everyone that comes into your office. John, I see your question. What happens to the completed online dislocated worker surveys? They actually they complete them online, and then we have a reporting dashboard, which is something I'll be showing everyone when I do the demo. So with this new layoff recovery site, you're probably wondering, how do I use this site as a workforce partner, only working as workforce partner, sorry. What am I going to use this for? First off, you should direct your customers who've been laid off to the new site. We have the company layoff pages, that online survey. We have Optimal Resume, which is brand new that you might not even know Illinois Worknet had, but it's a resume builder and tool available to anyone with an Illinois Worknet account. They can log in, they can create a new resume, see sample resumes, do a cover letter builder, and a whole lot of other stuff I'll show you when we get into the demo. You can download and customize your marketing materials to use in your office. So we provide marketing materials, and we're actually going to be updating on our flyers with a brand new template to match the new site, which we'll be adding today, that you can download and customize and print them out and hand them out to anyone who comes into your office. And then if you need a company-specific layoff page created that's not out there, you would correspond with your LWIA contact. So that's what that Layoff Recovery Workforce Partner Access list is in that file share download pod in the bottom left. With the update to the site, there are some areas that are restricted to specific people who have access, which includes the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, DCEO, Rapid Response Specialist, and then the local workforce investment area rapid response contacts. Now this list has been predetermined, and that's what is in the bottom left-hand corner of that pod. And if it turns out that you need to be on that list and you're not on there, you can email us at info@illinoisworknet.com, and we'll correspond with your local area on giving you access. And I will go over those restricted access areas as well, just so you know how the website works. So that was the short PowerPoint. I'm going to actually start my screen share now so I can, we can get in there and show you the actual site and see everything that's new. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. And if you could go ahead and raise your hand in the webinar so I know that you can see it. You should be seeing the company layoff search page. Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. So we're going to start with the public areas, and this is for the laid off workers, employers interested or needing information on warrant or rapid response, and really anyone else who gets to the site. Because on IllinoisWorknet.com, our current site, we have updated our home page right here to go to our new layoff recovery site with the newest 3 layoffs. So that's all right here on the front page, and all of our old links are now redirecting to the new site as well. So from this new page, the company layoff search, these are all of the current company layoff pages that have been created. We moved them all over from old Worknet onto this new layoff recovery site. As you can see, it looks completely different. It's fresh, it's clean, and it's responsive design. So if I go ahead and make my screen smaller, you can see that the page is now fitting within that smaller window. So this is what it's going to look like if you're on your mobile phone or your iPad, anywhere you're at. It's going to shrink down and work no matter what size your device is. I'm going to go ahead and click on one of these layoff pages so you can see it. So you can see I'm still in the mobile size. You can see the menu is now vertical instead of horizontal. It no longer goes across the top. And now everything's been narrowed to fit into this window. I'm going to go ahead and make it larger so we can go over every area within this page. So this is the brand new company layoff page template. We have our message board, which is customizable for each area to add messages about workshops, events, anything that they're adding. Our layoff packet on the bottom, link to the dislocated worker survey, and a link to our video guide. The layoff packet includes state resources covering employment insurance, health insurance, our laid off worker flyer, Illinois job link, and these are on every single page. These are the default flyers that everyone's going to get because they are important resources that laid off workers need. And then this is that link to that brand new online dislocated worker survey that I was referencing before. I'm not going to go through the whole survey because this is a live page and we don't want to skew any results. But once they click on that link, they're going to be taken to the first page of the survey, which asks them if they would like to log into their Illinois Worknet account to complete their survey, or if they would like to take it anonymously. We're trying to not have any boundaries or anything stopping people from completing a survey. So that's why we're offering an option of completing anonymously. Some people will want to log in and some people do not want to, so we're providing an option for both. So I'm going to go ahead and click Take the Survey without creating an account. So the next page of that is we're asking them to confirm that this is the correct company they were laid off from, so we're not getting information for, the wrong layoff or the wrong person. If it's not their company, we're redirecting them back to that search page so they can find their company. So it shows the company name and address, and so I'm going to confirm that this was my company. Now, I'm not going to go any farther than this page, but we wanted you to get an idea of what the actual survey looks like. So we have our progression bar at the top showing them how far they have to go until they complete the end of the survey, and then a subheader for each area. This first one is work details, and it asks questions regarding their past or the job they're being laid off from, the last day or expected last date of work, what occupation represented the job they were laid off from, what was their pay wage, how many hours a week did you work, did you have a certificate or licensure. Once you complete that, you're going to go on to the next page, which asks you about your future employment plans, whether you want to get a new job or if you want to retire or you want to start a business, and then it goes over that information. And then the third page covers training options. Do you want to go back to school for training? What kind of training would you be interested in? And then we do ask what social media platforms they use, because it's important to know that kind of information so you know how to market to this specific audience as well. And then the last page covers whether the laid-off worker wants to be contacted by a local area on further information or assistance. So if that laid-off worker says, yes, I would like to be contacted, they're then asked for their first name, last name, a phone number or email, whichever one they would like to be contacted with, their gender, their date of birth, and their veteran status. So as we go on with the demo, you'll see where that information's put. But this is the new online dislocated worker survey. And John, all of this information, sorry I forgot to preface this in the beginning, let me say it now, all the company layoff information is still done in IWDS. So if there is a company layoff, it still is entered into DETS. But all of the survey stuff is now done in this new layoff recovery site. The survey is entered into Worknet. You see the results in Worknet, and it's all, you can pull those survey results, exporting them in Worknet. So IWDS is still being used for adding company layoffs. That's still done in DETS. But all of the survey stuff is done in Worknet. So all of the dislocated worker survey results, you'll get those results in Illinois Worknet layoff recovery site. I'm going to go back to the company layoff search page, the Accretive Health, which is the one we're on. And so the first tab we're on is layoff info, which covers, Illinois Worknet has added a couple of default messages to add to each page, covering the Illinois Virtual Job Club Network, the Optimal Resume Tool, which is something that we think every job seeker, laid-off worker should be using, and then telling them that they need to or haven't done so yet, they can complete the dislocated worker survey. And on the right side of the page, you'll see our social media widget and our Get Connected to the Job Prep app, which is on every tab, because the Job Prep app is a great tool to have anywhere on the go. And then our news, our Illinois Worknet Virtual Job Club Network, Facebook, and Twitter. So the second tab is our video guide. This is brand new layoff recovery videos that we worked with local and state agencies on getting created. There is a video covering this actual dislocated worker area, IDES is unemployment, health insurance, housing, WIA services under the Connect with Training and Education Opportunities, and then Illinois Worknet services in the Begin Your Job Search. And then we provide all of those in Spanish. So these are brand new videos. We really encourage you to watch them, have your laid off workers watch them. It is a great, very basic information for them to take. So they don't have to go read a whole bunch of things. They can just watch this video if they want. The third tab is our service locations. Looks like our map needs to be refreshed. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So the service locations shows the map and all of the workforce area offices in that LWIA. So at the top of this layoff page, you'll see that the address, the LWIA, the cause, and the release date for every company layoff page. So this is LWIA 7. So this is automatically going to show all of the LWIA 7 Illinois Worknet partner sites that the laid off worker can go to. So one of these is the Arlington Heights Workforce Center. You click on it on the Google map and you're going to get the information. You can get directions and go to that website if they have one. And so this will be specific to the LWIA. So if this was an LWIA 4 page, it would show the LWIA 4 locations. LWIA 10, if it was LWIA 10, it would show those locations, et cetera. And then our last tab is local events. So this is pulled from Illinois Worknet. All the events that are put in there are listed here, and they can review all of them. You can add any event you have in your area on Illinois Worknet, and it's going to be populated here and in the job prep app. So you do it in one place, and it's showing up in all of Illinois Worknet areas. So this is a brand new company layoff pages. This is where the laid off workers are going to come to get information specific to the layoff. So this is where you're going to want to point those laid off workers to. And then we also have our layoff recovery step guide. This is brand new as well. We've updated the information, added new information, new tools. We have that layoff recovery guide and our statewide resources from that layoff packet we're listing here as well. So none of the local resources will show here. These are all just that statewide information that layoff workers need. And then those videos that are great. And so if they don't have time to go through one of these steps, they can just watch the video that they want or all of them instead. And now I'm going to go into these steps just so you can see what they look like. So the first one, step 1, is connect to benefits and services. And this person says they clicked the option that they want to explore a new career field and they don't want to stay in the current one they're in. So that's what these 3 steps are going to walk them through, how to do that. So the first, you go through each step, and then we have action items on the right, which are worksheets that Illinois Worknet has done that are available that they can use to complete that step, as well as resources they may need to complete as well. So they should file for unemployment insurance, know what to do about their health insurance plans, see if they need assistance with their housing, tips to manage finances, all of that. And then the next step goes over exploring skills and new careers. We have more action items and resources, another videos. And then the last step is preparing and searching for your new career. So from here, we also link to Optimal Resume. Like I said, that is a really great brand new tool that we want everyone to use. So I went ahead and clicked on it because I want to show you what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and log in real quick so you can see what resources and tools are within that. Like I said, this is completely free to everyone who has an Illinois Worknet account. As you can see, it's saying that I'm missing some information for my profile because with this account, this is the first time I've logged in with this specific Illinois Worknet account. So anyone else who first logs in to Optimal Resume with their Illinois Worknet account might be prompted to enter some information as well. I'm going to go ahead and click on the home page so you can see what we have. So with Optimal Resume, they provide a resume builder, cover letter builder, a portfolio builder, skills assessment, interview prep. They can do a video resume. They can build a website, which is very similar to LinkedIn, that they can use and send out for jobs, and also a Find a Job Faster resume GPS. And below that, you can see we have resume samples, cover letter samples, and portfolio samples. So this is a great tool that we encourage all Illinois Worknet to use. Please start, showing it to your customers. They can use it. They can log in with their Illinois Worknet account or sign up. One easy process, and they can start using this to, build as many resumes as they want for each job they're applying for, do their cover letters, get samples that they need, and really just prepare themselves for their job search really well. So that's the step guide. I do want to show you the news area as well because we do have a news item for our resume builder as well with a link. So you can get to that resume, optimal resume, from many places within the layoff recovery site. And we do have a couple other articles, and we're going to be updating this area frequently with new resources or tools or information for laid off workers. So if you in your local area have something you think would be great to post here, feel free to email it to us. My email will be in the PowerPoint because we're open to posting new things that you think that everyone should be aware of. So we do have some, our virtual job club network. We posted a couple articles on what to do, after you've been laid off. Think about what do you want to be. You're going through a layoff. Here's how Illinois Worknet can help. And we've also got a welcome to the new layoff recovery site, so everyone's familiar with how they can use the site. The last public area is our employers page, which is very simple and straightforward. It's rapid response services for employers, and it covers the WARN Act and rapid response. So it's all just the basic information they need if they're going to be going through a layoff, or if they just need to know the state and federal requirements so they have it in case they're ever going to go through a closure or downsize. On the left is the basic information, and then on the right we have resources, WARN brochure, and a WARN notice checklist, and then the information they need for filing a WARN notice. So this is public to anyone who comes to this site, as well as everything else in the menu at the top. So I want to show you the Workforce Partner Layoff Recovery Guide now. So this is for all of Illinois Worknet's workforce and education partners. You can see we have different areas here. The first one is our layoff recovery updates. So we just launched the site on May 14th, so there's not a lot listed here. But as we make updates to the site and the system, we're going to be listing them here. If you need to know anything that's been changed or updated, you can get a full list from this page, and it'll be updated as things are updated on the site. We also have a link to any webinar registrations we're going to be doing. This link to the one you guys registered for today. And as we have more webinars, we'll be listing them here. And then we'll be posting our archived videos here as well. So you can find this archived webinar here after the webinar today. Now, this is where that list of people with access comes in handy. So that is in the file share download pod. I really recommend everyone download that and look at it, because if you feel that you should have access to creating and posting company layoff pages and accessing that reporting dashboard, you need to email us and tell us that you need access. Because if you click any of these three bottom links and you don't have access, you'll be prompted to request access, and that email will come to us as well. Now, the reason these areas are restricted now is because these areas have personal and private information for the companies and the laid-off workers. Within the business layoffs and closings area, you'll see all the information coming from debts. So like I said, the company business layoffs information is still be entered into IWDS. So we are syncing with that system to pull in all of those companies and their layoffs. And within that information is the company FEIN number and company contacts. And that information can't be made available to everyone. So we had to put some restrictions on the system. So that list shows the LWIA rapid response contacts that have been identified, as well as the DCEO rapid response specialist. So like I said, if you are not on that list and you think you should be, or you need to have access, you can email us and we'll correspond with the LWIA, and they will review the request and let us know if we should give you access or not. But I won't be going through how this entire area works. I just wanted to give you an idea of what it looked like. This is the layoffs and closings. Like I said, all this is pulled from debts, and this is where the new layoffs or pages are created. So all of those public pages that you just saw, this is where people come to create them. So you can see if it says view, that means the page has already been created. We also have the partner dashboard and reporting dashboard. The partner dashboard is where those company layoff pages in the online dislocated workers survey are managed and updated. And then the reporting dashboard is where you're going to get all those results from the online surveys. So these areas are restricted access. So you can look at that list when you have time. And so if you need a page created and you don't have access, You can contact your LWIA or DCO contact and say, I need this page created in Illinois Worknet, and they can work with you on the process of getting that created. The top 3 areas are public access. They're available for all our workforce partners. The Get Started area includes the step-by-step process of using the site. It also includes those instructional guides. And on the top here, it is letting you know only DCO rapid response specialists and identified LWIA staff have access to business and closings in their partner reporting dashboard. So this goes through the process of how using Illinois Worknet works, how using the layoff recovery site works. Step 1 is to make sure the company layoff is in IWDS. Then you create the page, then et cetera, and then using the customizable marketing materials and all the details that go along with each of those steps. We also have a link to IWDS. If you have access, you must log in IWDS. It's not single sign-on here. And we also have a link to our QR code creator. If you're not familiar with what a QR code is, we did add a couple of FAQs for that. So how do I create a QR code? You can use the free website QR Creator. Within this website, you can create a QR code for your company layoff page to add to a flyer. And what is a QR code? A QR code is a different form of a barcode, and you can scan those codes with an app using your smartphone. So some of you are familiar with Illinois Worknet's system now or flyers now, and we do have these QR codes on our flyers now. And so what you do is you just put in your URL and click generate, and it's going to create this barcode right here to the right that you can see, and you can download the barcode in whatever format you use and then put it on your flyer so anyone who has an app on their smartphone can scan that code and go to the website you're directing them to. So that's a really great tool. We use it quite a bit at Illinois Worknet. We have QR codes on quite a lot of our flyers because it's really easy for users, who have that app on their smartphone to just scan it and go to it instead of trying to type in a URL that's on a flyer. They can just scan that code and go directly to their layoff page. And so with our frequently asked questions area, you can see that we don't have a lot of questions now because we just got our website launched, but we'll be adding more as we go along. And if you ever come here and you have a question that's not listed, you can click here to submit your question. You would put in your email, and then you can select a subcategory. Right now there's only 2, but as we add more, they'll be listed here. And if you have a question that's not within any of these subcategories, it doesn't matter. Go ahead and just click one of them and put your question in, and then you click submit, and we'll get an email with your question, and we'll answer it, and we'll put a new subcategory if it's needed, and then we'll email you and say, hey, your question's been answered. You can see it here. And so that'll all be posted on this page as questions come in. Now I'm going to go back to the online guide and show you the downloads, materials, and resources page. So this is where you're going to get all of the materials that you can use and customize to use in your local offices and areas. So on the left, we have the marketing materials, which includes our business cards, multiple flyer options, and like I said earlier, we're going to be adding another flyer with our brand new updated template that really corresponds with the new site. We have a postcard. We also provide you with our laid off worker icon that you can see on all the pages, so you can use it on any marketing materials or your website to link to our site, as well as trade program brochures, WIA, and WARN brochures. And on the right-hand side of the page, we provide some resources that you can use, which includes Illinois Worknet resources and state and federal resources that go to DOL and DCEO. So if you need information about the WARN Act, PAAA, NEG, that's all listed here. Now I want to point out this first one is a PDF, the Dislocated Worker Survey Questions. So you can go ahead and go to this page and download this PDF. These are all the questions that are listed in the online Dislocated Worker Survey. These are all required by this person to complete, so you can go ahead and know which questions are being asked. We put do not distribute because we don't want this version of the survey questions going around, but you can use it for your own use in your office if you need to know what questions are being asked. And like I said, at the end of the survey, they're asked if they would like to be contacted by someone for further recovery information. If they select yes, they're asked their personal information. So these are the public areas of Illinois Worknet's new layoff recovery site that I wanted to show you today. And it's all available now via the site. As like I said, you can get to it from Illinois Worknet's splash page. And I will go ahead and put a link in the file in the chat pod here as well. So that's the public areas. Does anyone have any questions or comments? I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our closing screen because we have some poll questions as well. We're just really wanting to know, do you think that the resources and tools seem easy to use? Do you think this covers the needs of your laid off workers? And if there's anything you think we missed or anything you think should be added, we have a poll for that too. And we're really open to your comments and suggestions because you guys are the ones working with the laid off workers one-on-one. So we want to see, we want to know what you think needs to be added or whether you think something can be updated or even if you think it looks great and you think it's going to be really easy to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and put the layoff recovery site URL right here in the chat pod so you can go to it on your own time. And like I said, I want you to download those 2 flyers at the bottom left if you can and just review who has access because if you think you need to have access, you just please email us at info@siuccwd and I'll go ahead and put that in the chat pod as well so you can email us. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for joining us today. My phone number and email is in the PowerPoint presentation as well. If you have any questions that you have that might come up after the webinar, we will be posting this video to the Workforce Partner Guide that you got to from the footer of the new layoff recovery site. So if you go to that www.illinoisworknet.com/layoff recovery and you go to the footer, you'll see a link to the Workforce Partner Guide. And so that's how you'll get to the guide anytime you need it. And I just wanted to, again, say that please use Optimal Resume with all of your laid-off workers. It's a great tool. It's very easy to use, and it's free to anyone with an Illinois Worknet account. So please feel free to start using that. We will be hosting a webinar over just Optimal Resume on its own. So keep an eye out for when that webinar will be happening so you can register and get more information about how to use it, and then you can use it one-on-one with your customers as well. But I'm going to stay here in the webinar for a couple more minutes, so if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. You can email me or call me afterwards or anytime you have any questions. And thank you, everyone, for attending. I hope you have a great afternoon.